Hi everyone, this is a video about 5 very easy blues riffs that you can play on guitar. I'm going to use this Gretsch Jim Dandy. It's a cheap $170 approximately acoustic guitar. I'm playing this on an acoustic because this is sort of much tougher to play on than on an electric, and I wanted to show that you don't need to have anything fancy to make some blues playing sound good. Few couple thoughts here before I jump into things. I'm going to be thinking about this from sort of a country blues sort of perspective, what might be thought of as like Lightnin' Hopkins sort of influence. There are, of course, a million fantastic blues artists out there. Please make sure to explore the genre in full if you are not familiar with it. Some names I would, of course, recommend. You got to listen to Muddy Waters. You got to listen to Howlin' Wolf. You got to listen to Buddy Guy, of course, both his older albums, his newer albums. Louisiana Red is a great acoustic artist who will just make your heart want to cry. He does electric as well. He's sadly no longer with us. And of course, besides Lightnin' Hopkins, which I mentioned before, who's very influential, you should listen to John Lee Hooker, especially if you like something that's easy, if you want to learn how to play some easy songs. Sometimes he just sort of does something that's all in one sort of shuffle. It doesn't even modulate chords, I should say. Probably the most important person I think you got to listen to is Son House. Son House is just a very influential musician, super powerful voice. If you know the White Stripes and Jack White, you may already be familiar with Son House. And of course, you got to listen to Robert Johnson. If you're a big Rolling Stones fan, you may know that name already. But he only has a handful of songs, and those have really helped to define the genre. All right, so let's go listen to these licks. Oh, I have a GoPro camera that I think I'm going to put on my head, so maybe you can see these from like the way I see them, which might make it easier for you to learn them since you'll be seeing exactly how I do it. All right, so here we are, 5 very easy, very fundamental blues licks. Okay. Sorry, I'm just seeing myself in the camera, and it's kind of making me crack up. All right, so here's riff. All right, so here's riff number 1. I'll play that slower now. So I'm on the 1, 2, 3rd string. I start on the 2nd fret. Slide up to the 4th fret. Back to the 2nd fret, and I'm going to do a hammer on. To open. Okay, so slide up, hammer on, pull off. A couple ways you can do that. You can either just do it open on the 4th string on the 2nd fret, or go up to the 3rd string. So you can vary it however you want. Okay. The main thing for me is sliding up to this B note and let that ring out, right? So to give that a moment. Has a nice lonesome sound, hopefully. So now I've modulated to the A chord. So here's a riff I like to do for that. So now this is, once again, I think pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So sliding up into E, going right to the G and the A, but you're going to do a little bend on this A. Now I'm not even so worried about going, I'm not trying to bend it. You can bend up to the B if you want. You have this half step, this blue note between A and B on your first string. Or for other blues artists talk about, like this blue note is actually really somewhere between the 4, or in this case A, and this half step. Okay, so if you're not strong enough to do big bends, or you're playing on an acoustic guitar that's tougher, you can do a smaller bend. But it's really about, don't rush it, don't try to cram in a lot of notes. I don't know, maybe I'm not a shreddy guy, but I feel like you lose some of that feeling. Now, I'm fancying things up a bit, pardon my inability to keep it simple a little bit, but just so I'm really thinking about this A, which is the 4 chord. You might go out of tune a little here, so make it cry, make it cry. That's my second little riff for you. Number 3 is one that for some reason I didn't learn for a really long time. It's super fundamental. You really should know it right away. If you think of your E triad, if you bring that up 1, 2, 3 steps. Okay? And now you can lose this finger or replay it like this. And then okay? But now I'll give it a little tiny bends. So I'm on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th fret on the first high E string. And then I'm on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th fret of the B string. With a little tiny, just a little bouncy little bend on that. Okay, that's number 4. Hopefully you know just a major scale. Knowing that major scale is really important, you can turn it into a walking bass line. And you can play that. I'm playing at the B chord, my 5 chord. You play it here on your A. And then you could play it again at this E on the 5th string. You can also think of your walking pattern as the major scale and expand on it and go the other direction. Which I particularly like when you are at E before you're going to wrap up your blues. So you might go. I'm adding this note in. I'm adding this B flat A sharp. And because it's the blue note in our blues pentatonic scale. So if you know your pentatonic scale, and you know to add a blue note to make it a blues scale, that's this note. I'll go into that in another video if you want, let me know. Number 5 is a very easy turnaround. Okay, so I'm up on the 12th fret here. I'm fretting my first string and my second string. And I'm, with my thumb and finger, you can do this with a pick or without, doesn't matter. You're going to go like this. Except you're going to give a little bend on this second string. Okay, so this is B, A, and I'm ending on the E. So G. So that makes a nice little turnaround. So I'll try to put it all together. Okay. I have a red mark on my head. I'm all sweaty. My main camera seems to, the battery seems to have died. But any questions, let me know. I love when people leave comments. I try to respond to everyone. And I'm on Patreon, so if you want to support me on Patreon, please feel free to do so. Patrons help buy this GoPro camera, and I think that's helping make things a lot better on this channel. So thank you to everyone over there who is contributing. Anyone who wants to join is always welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Okay. Bye-bye. Happy practicing.